Hello, this is Tink753, and today we are going to start making a step-by-step guide on how I personally make my Unity projects and my Unity things. So this is a new computer, so I am completely restarting, and I will make sure to put links to things because I did reset up my Unity project. To start out with, we are going to want to set up our project. So pretty much you just create project. Unity 2022 is what I'm going to be using. And then you name your project and then it'll create it. So then you automatically have these guys, but then you have all of these that I added into it. Of course, we're not going to use every single one, but we're definitely wanting gesture manager. So we hit that plus button and then it'll add it. We want Poi Tunes shader. Eventually we're going to want the wholesome SPS configurator, but that's only if we're going to be doing an NSFW SPS version, which this character will be, but that's a different part of the video. So we do not have to immediately add this, but we will later. We definitely want VRC Fury, and we want the quest because we're going to try making this avatar quest compatible. That is it. Yep. Alright, and then we're just going to launch a project. Okay, now that we're in the Unity, we're going to want to set up our packages. So, I just closed this right here, and this is how I have my Unity set up. So I already have a special little thing in here. Where is it? Menus. Okay, so I pre-made a bunch of different stuff for myself because I found it was faster. So this I'm just gonna rename Pom Pom because we are making my peacock avatar and her name is Pom Pom. So I like to start out with 5 different menus in this singular folder. The animations, which is where you're going to be putting all of, like, if you have ears animations that gonna droop with a gesture, or an idle a tail wiggle, or eye blink, anything like that goes in here. Gesture menus, this is all the menus that I have so default will go into the parameters. These are all just my own OCD mess. So these are all gesture things. The materials, I have some pre-made materials just for myself so I don't forget. Some different toggles. Default toggles, this is just the way I do toggles. And this folder is where we're going to be putting all the toggles. I'm sorry if this is confusing. I kind of just have my own magical way of doing things, and it works for me. But this is kind of a thing that you have to learn yourself, is that what works for you. If you don't like it like a whole organized mess and you want folders for everything, or if you don't even want any folders and you want to deal with that, that's up to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and get our FBX. So this is my Winter Peacock FBX. We're going to drag it and drop it in here. Okay, now that our FBX is down here, we're going to want to go to rig, and we want to go from the animation type from generic to humanoid and hit apply. Now what this will do is that it'll have all the bones, like skeletal bones, ready for you. So now you want to go through this and make sure all of the bones are in the right areas. Like, it didn't detect my chest for some reason, so we gotta click this button and put the chest back there. And my toes, I know on this basis the TVF is what I'm using, that the toes don't like to be in the right area. So I put them back. Especially the head. If you do not have a jawbone for your head, then I just remove it completely and check your fingers, because sometimes those can be like especially if you have multiple armatures. Like what I do when I add assets to a character is I completely remove the bones, unless it's made for the body, of course. I completely remove the bones and then I just weight paint it because it's so much easier to figure out where weight paints are going than figuring out where bones are going. So I just completely remove the bones so I don't have to worry about double armaturing. Like some people have double legs or something like that. So once you're done and you have all of the bones area, and a lot of bases do not have an upper chest, but I know very few do. That's something that you will have to figure out. I don't know how to do that. So we're going to just hit apply. And then once this is done, we're just going to hit done. Alright, and now that is all done, we do not have to worry about that anymore. And we will just drag and drop it into a hierarchy. Sorry, I have retainers, so if I'm lisping hard, my bad. So we have the avatar, we're good, we're dandy. Now, so what I like to do is I really like to start from the body and then the animal stuff or the hair, and then I go to the rest of the accessories or clothing. So I have a thing called dead scripts. I use an older version of dead scripts because when they no longer are a thing. So if I am turning things off like this, what you'll have to do is go into it and click this manually. I don't Dead scripts is so amazing. I'm so sad that they are no longer creating. So we will just take off all of this and I'm gonna leave my bodysuit on. We're not supposed to be showing anything weird. So I'm gonna turn off my nipples because I saw they were showing through the shirt and we don't want that. So what we're going to do is, I want to make sure I was still recording, is that we're going to go and find the head and the body textures. And what I like to do is I keep everything I put on an avatar in a Google Docs. So I know what body I'm using, what head I'm using, everything that's going to be on here, and everything I have done personally. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the TVF. Okay, now that we have the TVF base files, we were going to go to the textures and we just want the normal because we have a tattoo that we have. So we are going to go open up the winter peacock and we're going to drag and drop. Oh, I already have a normal. Perfect. Let me delete that real quick. So we are going to drag and drop our skin texture down here. And my computer's going to yell at me. Oh, and it already knows its place. I don't know how it does that. So, and then we're going to just drag and drop these into the materials because they're supposed to be over here. Okay, and so we have my preset my poi guys. So we are going to go to the body and drag and drop the material onto the body. And how you make materials is you go into create and then material right here. And we are wanting to do poi, so we're going to hit standard, poiomi, poiomi 2, tune, and then you'll just put your textures in here. So I'm just going to delete that real quick. Okay, so yeah, we're going to drag and drop our stuff into here. Perfect. Alright, and I have my own special way of doing textures and I kind of just mess with it. There's a lot of things that you can do. Everything that I have is in my student server. So what we can do with these is we can throw them into a different folder for textures. We don't need the textures anymore. Or what you can do is you can just create for your like singular textures or whatever. I like this way better. This project is old. So I like putting textures in where textures go. And so then we're going to go and move on to the eyes, or I mean the head, sorry, the head. And so we're going to go and find the head textures. Okay, so once you've found your textures, you will want a face texture. So pick whatever skin tone you want, and then pick your alpha. I have some custom made, so I'm going to use those. And of course you're going to need an eye color, but we will not be using those ones today. So I'm going to grab the ones I have. I just inverted the eyelash colors because it's going to be white. So then you're going to want to drag and drop them in here into your area. And you're going to want to go to your head ACC, which is just the eyelashes and the everything. So I already have it on trans clipping, but all of your materials are going to start opaque. Anything that is going to be see-through, you want to be either cut out or trans clipping. That's up to you. I prefer trans clipping because it looks natural. So you're just going to drag and drop them up here, and then drag and drop your material onto the right part of the head. Right here you can see the white eyelashes. And then you're going to go to head and drag and drop your head texture into it. And I already had the material on there. Perfect. And I have piercings that I cannot turn off, so I already have a preset metal. And what you're going to want to do to get a metal looking one like this, I gotta turn down my outlines. And this is something else you can do as well if you want your character to be more animate looking, is to do outlines. And since it's small, I'm gonna do 0.1 instead of 15. So to get this metal look, you want to go to your shading, find matte cap, and then you can choose from any of Poi's free matte caps. They're pretty far towards the bottom, but you can choose any of these. I just like this one because we're going more of a silvery look. But you can turn up the intensity or make it glow, but I just want to make it look like a shiny piece of metal. Perfect. Alright, and then we can go back to that and drag and drop our textures in here. So then once you got those textures, we're going to find a eye texture that we're going to want. I have my favorites, of course. This is my favorite eye creator. Oh, I love them so much. They make so many good eyes, and these are currently my top favorites right now. So we are going to use a few of these, and I already have a few made. These three are going to be what we're going to be putting on her. So we're just going to drag and drop them into here, put it in the eye sockets, and ooh, super, super, super cute. I like that. That's going to be her main eye color. And then, so for optimization, you can do it two ways. You can Control C and Control V and duplicate it. That is not the most optimized way. The best way to do it is if you click on it and go to decals and open up all these decals and turn them on. Just turn them all on, and it's going to make your computer a little noisy. And so we're just going to also drag and drop them in order. 0 is going to be the main eye, and then we're going to put this one and then this one. And you want to make sure to turn the alphas off, and this is how we're going to make the eye transform into it. So it'll be this eye, and then this will turn off, and then this one will turn on, this will turn off, and this will turn on, and so forth. That'll be in the toggles though. So then we're almost there. We gotta now do our animal stuff. Oh, she's looking already super cute. We can just drag and drop these into textures. So then what I like to do next is do the hair. That is one of my favorite. I got 3 hairs. And another very important thing is when we get to the hairs is you want it to be on trans clipping, and you also want to make sure go to rendering, it's going to be at the very bottom, and turn the cull to off. A lot of the time it'll be front or back. I'm pretty sure it's defaulted to front. Turn it off. That means instead of seeing it through like this, it'll be a solid thing. There is hair there. It's just that's what it's going to look like if you don't have this on. So if this is the front, oh wait, no, it's defaulted to back. So then all that you wouldn't be able to see. So just turn it off. So you see that this has a different hair part to it. We're going to Control C, and then we're going to put that up there. So that's something we're going to have to put inside the animation for it to change different hair colors. So now we're going to go and find the hair color. Now when you get to your hair textures, CC is my favorite hair creator, like hair texture creator. It's where a lot of people get the very nice ends, and Sakura also has some really nice ones that she just released. But also Wet Cat's another good one. These two are free, so they're very useful. Nikki also has some really good hair textures as well. They don't have that like frill at the end, but it is okay. I really like them anyways. But we can go. Oh, and Nova Pie has some also super cute natural ones, some spooky ones. Zimpia just released these recently. But yeah, so we're going to use CC's hair. I like to do 4 different hair colors. I like to give an RGB option, I like to give a white, a black, and a natural hair color. So what we will do is we're going to find a nice red. Like this one will do. And we're also going to want the alpha. Alphas are what the material will, the things that are black is going to be see-through. So everything that is white is going to be opaque, everything that is black will be see-through. So like this, we will just so now you can see like she has the wisps in her hair, but if you take it off, you can kind of see there is a difference between the quality. And then if you make it opaque, it looks like that. So that's why the trans clipping and the alpha map are very, very important for things that are going to be see-through, because that's not going to be the main hair color. So then we're going to go back. Normals aren't necessarily like needed for hairs. What a normal is it gives it texture and makes it like bumpy kinda. I don't know how to explain it, but it gives it texture. But I don't use it for hair. I use a matte cap for hair, which I hope is in here. I do not think it is in here. But I do have a spot for it, so that is good. But anyways, so back to the... Okay, so then when you have all of your hair in here, you're going to go to decals and you're going to open up all your decals. Then we're going to just, I like to start from the white color and then to black, natural, then red. So we're just going to put that up there, and then the natural, white, black, brown, and then red. And then of course you're just going to turn these off. Perfect. And with red, I do like putting hue shifts on there, so I'm just going to click hue shift, right click, hue shifts the letters, and then the animate. So that means when the material is locked, it still won't animate. And then we can just throw these into textures. And then we gotta find this, so I'll just do that real quick. Okay, so now when the hair changes, so instead of it going to white, it'll go to black, and then so forth. Okay, so then once you have the hair, we're just gonna do the exact same thing throughout the texturing of the rest of the clothing. So yeah, let's just color the rest of it. Okay, and so while I am here, might as well show you how I make my materials. So obviously we go to poi tune. So this is gonna be my mask for my feathery outfit. Feather mask. So rendering we're gonna turn off, and we're gonna just throw it on here. Oh, she looks so good. Okay, so we're gonna go to color. We're gonna throw on the color texture, and we're gonna throw on the normal. And with the shading, we're gonna go to shading, and go to whatever you feel is what you best. A lot of the time, the textures look different in Unity than they do in VRChat. Skin I use as well, but let's just do realistic. This will make all, like, you can see the normal is working right here. We can take this off, and you can see all that detail just disappears. So we're just gonna keep that on there. That's it for this. Oh wait, no, it has a metallic thing. So we're gonna go into the matte cap. Okay, so when you go to matte cap, you're gonna drag and drop your metallic mask into masking. And fixing now, it just makes it, especially for this masking map, it just makes it for whatever you're asking. And then you can choose your matte cap. So since we're going more wintry colors, we're gonna want a, like, see, it changes that. Maybe a silver. And something you can do, if you're not happy with the color, just pick the shiniest one. And if you want the color that's underneath it, is you can turn down the replacement. And then you can just mess with it like that. So I like the multiply. So then it's still shiny, but it's not taken fully over by the matte cap. I can even do it a little more, but I don't want it too bright. Adding also is a good one too. Ooh, I like that a lot. Let's just do that. So now it's still shiny, but not taken over by the matte cap. And you can always turn it up, turn it down. That is completely up to what you would like to do. But I want her to pop, so. And then we can just make another folder here for textures and drag and drop these into there. Okay, so if you have this happening to you where you can clearly see through it, so what you want to do is make the render queue further up. So you can just change this to 5.9 and then change the feather back to 6.0. Shoot. There we go. You can change that to 6.0 and it's still the same. It's just the order of what it's going to render. So we want the feathers to render before the hair. So if you just do that, then you can fix the issue. And if you have multiple things doing that, then just moving it. And also, another thing is I would just actually recommend to put all of your textures at 59. Any see-through textures. Because if you have, say, you go to a world that has a lot of water, then that'll be, oh, what did I change? Okay, never mind. So if it has water at all, it'll look see-through, like it'll go behind it. So we don't want that. There we go. This was supposed to be 59. This was 58. So yeah. So I recommend putting anything below it, not above it, because of that reason. I came to the conclusion that I don't want this character to be super colorful. It's supposed to be snowy, so instead of bright red for the RGB option, I'm gonna do pink. So then it's light, it's not overly bright, and you can still have RGB on it. It's just a lighter red. Pink is just a lighter red. Change my mind. Now that we're done with the texturing, everything has its texture. Um, I'm gonna have to make a part 2 because this video is plenty long. I hope this gets you started on whatever avatar journey we are doing. So I will make sure to link everything that I used down below. And if you have any questions, you're always free to DM me, Tink753 on Discord, or you can drop a comment and I will do the best I can to answer any questions. But part 2 will go over everything else that we need to do, but so far we got it in here and all the texturing is done, and now we gotta do all the rest of it. But anyways, I hope this has helped, and I am excited to continue this journey with you guys. See you later. I don't know.